Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, that looks good. Maybe let's change that so I don't have that still face of me showing, because that's kind of silly looking. All right, trying to get. Hey, the camera is live. All right, I just need to grab my hat, change some clothes real quick. We'll be in business shortly, everyone. If there's anyone here. I suppose it wouldn't be a horrible idea. How do I get the link for this? This isn't even the right information. Game Jam stream. I don't know what the title is yet. But I want like the. Oh, I guess there. Copy video URL. Okay, well, Discord's broke right now, so that's cool. But also, doesn't really matter. All right, well, I guess it's actually broken. Fine. We will be up and live in just a few minutes. Put some things away. Change to something comfortable. Should be pushing notifications out to people. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, that's looking like it should. So now I can go ahead and do that. Hey, there I am. Okay, cool. So now, do I have the automatic scene switcher running? It would appear as if no. Okay, let me just enable that quickly here. And we will be off and on the road. Automatic scene switcher, assuming it works. Well, I don't know what this is all about. Oh, wait, yes, I do know what it's all about. Let me just make that go away. And I think I can fix this by doing this. Hey, there we go. Hey, what to do? I will put, that's really big. So I'm gonna make myself smaller. That's better. Okay, and then let's go back to this screen. I don't want Luanti to be full screen because that's gonna be too much. I'm gonna go ahead, put it onto a secondary screen or tertiary screen. Data word. You don't think it is. And then I will put, oh, you know what? Actually, that's not even, I needed to start that via the terminal so as to have, the things that I need, because otherwise I can't get my debug information, which is kind of important when you're trying to debug a bunch of bugs. Go figure. Who would have thunked that? All right, so I just need to pull this up real quick. Give me a couple of seconds, and we should be up and on the road for the road show. I mean, the stream. I just need to figure out where in the world I have Luanti installed here. I think this is what I want. Yep, this is what I want. So let me just do one of these numbers. Okay, now that should automatically switch. Automatic screen switcher, why are you not working? Okay, but it worked there. I'm confused now. Okay, it works. I'm in Luanti. Why is it not automatically switching? Does it have something to do with it being full screened? I'm confused. Okay, why does this not work? I have so many different options. This is great. I could be here, or I could be here, or I could just be a ghost and not exist. And you feel like you're like watching me jump around on the screen? Yeah, well, that was not the intention. And then I just need to throw a terminal here. And then I have to add a new window, I guess. See, I should have had all this stuff set up beforehand. I don't even know how to do this. We need a new, and I'll just call it terminal. Am I back? Am I back? Okay, this is a something. Okay, we're gonna try this once more, and if this doesn't work this time, I'm just not gonna bother, because I've crashed OBS like 3 times now trying to set this up. So I'm just trying to make, you probably won't be able to read the text in the terminal anyways. Okay, well, I'm glad it decided to pull that up, because that really makes a lot of sense. There we go. That's the terminal. Yes, fun, good stuff. You can totally read that. No problem. You can read that. Let me just move myself over a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now that changed. Did this change? I can't tell because OBS is on the screen that this is on. Okay, well it's borked, so that's cool. Well, this is annoying. I have one more thing I can try. Yep, okay. I think I know what the problem was. So then we just do this. And then... Okay, I guess I have to manually switch to... This is going to be annoying. It'll automatically switch to the code for me, but it won't switch back to this. Okay, well, you know what? Whatever. I've wasted enough time. We'll fix this later on. Let's get on to the progress that we have so far. Can I make text in a terminal bigger? I really should. Preferences. Let's make the font bigger. Oh, that's... Yeah, I can go a little larger. Let's go 13. Hey, there we go. Is that still... Yeah, that still works. Okay, so I have some things not much of anything that's really very good. I have a short range crystal and the why are they both called short range crystals? That's silly. I think I named something wrong. I do have a bunch of code here. Some functions, short range crystal, long. Yeah, I'd never renamed this. Genius move. Okay, so right now it's just a mod, but that's fine because it'll be into a game later. So everything can just be renamed. So basically, it's a pretty basic setup right now. The mod defines a table, and then I threw two variables in because I wanted to be able to play with them easily. So this is the long range crystal, how far it'll reach, and the short range. For testing, I set it down to 5 because it was finding way too many other beacons and it was making stuff too confusing. And then we just have a load and a save function to store the data. And then we load and save on startup and shutdown. I should probably be calling the save a little more often because in Kobold Krieg I was only calling it, or was it? No, it's in my ASRS mod. I only call the save on shutdown, which unfortunately if the server crashes, it doesn't save anything. Not good. So I do need to put some more in. And then when a new player joins the world for the first time, I create a table and just initialize it with some data for that player. And then there's 3 different functions here. There's a onPlace beacon, which runs when you place a beacon, and it pretty much just adds some stuff to some tables, and then it calls this find beacons table or function, which is actually where the cool stuff happens. So this, when you create a beacon, or when you place a beacon rather, it adds the beacon to a table. It actually adds a table to a table. So it creates a table of this information, so the name of the beacon, the variant, whether it's a short range or a long range, and then how many other beacons it's linked to. And it puts that all into a table, which is referenced by the key. And the key is the position in a string format. So then in the find beacons, I just reference all of the keys in this table because that's the position of every single beacon. And then we convert from the string back to a position, and then we check a vector distance, which, as I was saying yesterday, I was only going to do 2D vectors. It turns out there's a vector distance function built in, which does 3D, so I'm just using that, and I guess we're taking that third dimension. So I think to compensate for that, I'll probably just say that the beacons reach maybe 40 and 20, but internally it'll actually do like 44 and 22 maybe. That way, if you do have some elevation difference, you're not getting screwed over from it. So then we pretty much pull the data from the table, assuming it was a valid position, and then we check if it's long range or short range, and we compare it to the distance that it can link to. So we're only attempting to link to crystals that are actually within range, which we do with this link beacons function. This isn't completely done yet because, as you will see here, I have a link beacons, and then this one's using a raycast and doing some stuff. And if the stuff works, then it links the beacons. And then in the link beacons, currently all it does is takes 2 different positions and modifies the metadata of each to add one more link to them. And that's really all it does, which isn't much. And then I just have the 2 crystal registrations, different light source levels for the long range versus the short range. And yeah, they're pretty basic right now. Currently, when you break a crystal, it doesn't remove it from the table, which isn't good. So I do need to figure out how to do that, which I'm not 100% sure how to do. The raycast was a bit of an issue. So I think we will start with that. If I grab, I'm going to have to actually exit out of here. Oh, you know what? Let me manually switch it over because it doesn't switch for me. Because something. 5.15. Oh, you know what? I think that's why. I'm going to try once more to fix this. I had 5.13 for the string it was grepping for. And I want that to be actually the... Nope, I want it to be the Epic Dev one. Okay, let's just add this. And I think we'll find that it now works. Hey, it works! Okay, perfect. So I have the short range... Did I get the names fixed? Yes, except there's not a space in there. Are you serious? I mean, I guess long range technically could be one word, couldn't it? Anyway, we have our two different crystals. I'm going to use, for the raycast, it needs to be a short range, which is all these bright purple ones here. So let me go ahead and break some of these just for lulz. So if I place one, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to tweak. I have to tweak where this terminal is. There we go. And then I want to pull this to the front. It's always good to be... Oh, you just do it like that? Okay. Hey, there we go. All right. So I placed one. I don't know if you can see too well on screen, but it says number of nodes found is 1. That's kind of a lie because it's finding itself, which is a bit silly. If I put some more snow up here, or wait, did it find one of these? It may have found one of these. Let me just block these off real quick, just so we're not getting any misinformation. All right, so we place one. Number of nodes found is 1. I don't know where it's finding 1 unless it's finding itself, which it very well could be, because it does some goofy stuff with raycasting. Yeah, actually it is finding itself. So if we place another, now we say number of nodes found is 2, which is good, and nothing blocks line of sight. So there is nothing between these two nodes that's blocking the line of sight. And if I place another, it'll say number of nodes found is 2, and nothing is blocking line of sight. Although it also says number of nodes found is 1, which I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. But now if I come over here and just block off some of this with some snow so that we don't get any interference from nearby nodes, and we place one, it'll say, wait a second, how does it say number of nodes found? What? Okay, well, there's clearly a bug here. Number of nodes found is 1. Nothing blocking line of sight. Number of nodes found is 4. How did it find 4 nodes? Is that just... Okay, let's go back and look at the code. Where is this information coming from? Number of nodes found is count. Count is here from the raycast, position and other position. Pointed thing in ray do count. Oh, no, that actually makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I've never worked with raycast. I'm not very good with raycast. This actually makes sense what it's doing. So the raycast is dumping a table of every node between them. So let's just assume this is the node it found, which if it found 4 nodes wouldn't really be correct. So I don't know what it's finding. That's too far away because it's only supposed to be reaching for 5 nodes. 1, 2, 3. It should really just be this. Although maybe on the angle? Would the ray, I bet the ray is hitting both of these 2 nodes. So the ray is reporting... I don't know why it does this. It reports itself. So when the raycast shoots out, it shoots from the center of this node and it hits the node that it was emitted from. Which I guess the raycast doesn't know for sure if it's from a node or whatever. So it pulls up, this is 1 node. Air doesn't count, so that's not a node. This is 2 nodes, this is 3 nodes, and then it hits this node, which is 4 nodes. So when it says number of nodes found is 4, that is correct. There is a probably better way of doing this, but for right now, I'm just doing a check of if it finds 2 nodes, that means there's nothing blocking the line of sight because this is 1 node and this is 1 node. Now, the ray will shoot through everything that exists. So if I filled this with snow, right, and then I'll take this one back off. And then I put some snow over here just so we don't get any interaction with anything else. And we put this back. It is now telling me number of nodes found. It said 4, but then it also says 5. Oh, 4 was from the last time. 5 nodes found. This is 1 node, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the, I guess, more correct way, I don't know if more correct is really correct. Sumi gave me this on the Discord. And I think, can I just, yeah, here we go. So basically it's using a raycast, which I am using, and it's getting the item group of every node that the raycast is hitting. So what I do up here is the raycast, I have a count outside of the loop, and then pointed thing in array, which honestly pointed thing could say anything. It just, for every entry in the array, just add one number to the count. And then once the loop's finished, we just check what the count is. And if the count is 2, that means it was only those 2 nodes, which that works for me for right now. This does seem like it's a better solution, because then I could have items that can be between the 2 beacons that wouldn't block the line of sight. So for example, any of the light nodes, if a crystal is putting these light nodes out around it, if you placed it on the ground, those light nodes are going to be on the ground, which would put them in the path, potentially, if you had 2 beacons running, at 90s to each other. It would be in the path, or at 180s, whatever, any straight line coming off in a voxel world, those lights would now be in the way. So this is the more correct solution, because I would just get a count of all those lights, and that doesn't do me any good, because I don't know if that count is because of lights, or because of trees, or fences, or tombstones, or whatever there's going to be for decorations. I don't know. So I probably will be changing it to something similar to this, because that just seems like it's probably a slightly more foolproof solution than just, I'm going to count, and if I only get 2 hits, that means there's nothing in between it, which is true, but I feel like it's probably not the best way to be doing that. So we'll be making some changes there. So with this, let me pull out some of these comments. And I can get rid of this, and I can get rid of this. So Crystal Link Beacons does that, which works. Yeah, so I think what I want to do here is probably go ahead and take this code. I wish there was like a scratch pad in here where I could just a temporary space. You don't have that though. Well, you know what? We're going to just do this. I'm going to just temporarily store it in modconf, just because I want to be able to see it when I'm working on my code up here. So we have the raycast, which is the same thing that's going on here. We have position 1, position 2. Raycast can check for objects, which would be, in my case, the monsters, or the player, or the non-monster, non-player entities, the fairies or gnomes or whatever, bunnies, I don't know. Whatever there might be. I don't care if those are blocking the line of sight, because they move. And I'm not going to say, no, I can't link your beacons because there's an animal in the way. And then when the animal moves, it's not going to automatically relink, because it doesn't. At some point, I will have to add something. So it does check for the availability to update beacons. Because if there were trees blocking a line of sight and you dig those trees, it would be nice for the beacons to link. But I don't know specifically how we're going to do that yet. Okay, so we have the ray here. We're going to keep that as is, because I need the ray. And then for pointed thing and ray do, which is already what I'm doing here, but I'll just go ahead and retype it out. Okay, and then we have a local node equals core get. Why am I not just copying and pasting? I don't know, me. I don't know. So we're getting the node itself, which is good. That doesn't give me a name. It gives me some sort of a table of the node, which is why then we have to do the if core get item group node name my group, which I think actually I might want to do an inverse of. But we're going to do if core dot get item group node dot name, which is pulling the name out of the node table. And then we have some sort of group, which would just be, I'm going to call it non underscore blocking. Let's do that, because that makes sense, I think. If core get item group node name non-blocking is greater than or equal to 0. Wait, why would you? Can a group be a value 0? I think I can just do it greater than. No, wait, I'm doing less than 0. Wait a second, wait. The big side points to the bigger number. But the... I think I do need the other one. If it's greater than 0, then no, wait. No. It does need to be. I'm gonna have to check this out. I don't know now. Now I'm confused. If an item doesn't have a group, does it return 0? I'm not sure. I don't know. We're gonna find out. I guess we'll do a return true, and then we'll do an end, and then I guess we need to do another end. Now here we have a return false. I don't think I need to do that. This was written as a function in and of itself. I'm actually rewriting the entirety of the code within a function, although I could make it a function and call it from outside of the function, but it's a few enough number of lines that I don't feel bad about just doing this. Okay, so for pointer thing, yep. Oh, you know what though? I can't do that. It does have to be its own. No. Instead of returning true, I just throw this code that I want to execute right here, up here. And then we can pull out these 2 lines. And that should now be everything correct. Okay, so then I want to copy all of this to this. And I want to, okay, don't want to do there. And I want to put that up here. So if the variable is long range and the distance is that, we're doing this, the 2 positions, nothing changes there. Yeah, none of this matters. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It all matters quite a lot, but it doesn't matter in that way. Oh, you know what? My face is over half of the... There we go. I shouldn't be doing all of this, but can I flip this? So it looks like I'm looking at the code, because that would be kind of funny. Transform. I can flip. Hey! Nice! So it looks like I'm looking at the code when I'm looking at this screen. Whatever, who cares? At least it's not blocking the code that we're dealing with. That's the important thing. Okay, so I suppose I now need to put in some invisible lights to test this out, right? I just feel like being a nice person. I'm gonna put this back up here from Discord. Okay, so I can eliminate all of this down here, all this wasted space. Then we're going to do... Actually, that's not the best way to do this. The best way to do this is to go into another mod that I've already implemented it in, because then I can just copy and paste the entirety of it without having to actually know what I'm doing. Is that in functions, maybe? Light above, remove light, drop light. Okay, we have the drop light function. That's perfect. And then we have a drop lights removal function. Also perfect. So we're just gonna... Thank you. I'll take that. Thank you very much. This is kind of getting messy. I really need to come up with a name for this game so I can start putting these functions where they should be put. Is this going to throw me an error if I have lights and lights isn't defined anywhere? Oh, I guess we'll find out. I don't really need that right now, but, you know, it's good to have it because I will need it. But that's not what we're looking for. I'm actually looking for where the lights themselves are defined. For I through 14, register node light source invisible. Perfect. I will just take that bit of code as well. And we'll do this. So now we have lights source, which we're going to have to change that to crystal source. Okay. That's a light source. It's draw type of air-like, pointable, false. Well, I do actually want it to be pointable for the time being. Buildable to true, correct. I do want that. I do want these, but I also want to be able to break it for the time being. That's not what I wanted. Oddly breakable by hand equals 1. Okay. Oh, and you know, I got to pull off this not in creative inventory bit too, because I do need that to be in creative inventory so I can see it. All right, let's give her a whirl and see what happens. Yeah, okay. Okay. Sorry, I tried. So I can't have this as this, which I should have known because lights doesn't exist as a table. So I'll just comment the code out because that's what a professional would do. And what did I tell you? That's what a professional would do. We have a bunch of no textures, which is cool. Now when I place this, it is pointable, it is breakable, but it is invisible. Okay, that's fine. So I have these 3 lights. Perfect, perfect. And if I place this, attempt to index global pointed thing, a nil value. Huh? Where was this at now? In line 64. 64. Local node, core get node, pointed thing under. Well, I do have pointed thing and raise, so how does that not... They are pointable. Is it because it's draw type air-like? That wouldn't make any sense. Well, here, I'll just... Who cares? It actually is easier if the draw type's not air-like, because then I can actually see it. Okay, well, this is making things much worse. Why is this not working? Okay. Let me find my code again. For pointed thing in ray. Do I need to do for... Will this be a... Do I have to do it for a local? I don't think so. Maybe I do. We'll give her a shot. I mean... I didn't save my old code, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm guessing not because... That's throwing an error. Name expected near local. Yeah, okay. I didn't think that's what I needed. Okay, well, this is interesting then. For pointed thing in ray do. We have array. And we have array. Okay, well, the next thing to do. Luanti Blady 9062. Hello, welcome. I suppose I should look at some of these other comments here. Dog of War. I'm epic with code. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Clearly, I'm not that epic, though, because, yeah, all of this. Okay, I can look at the API real quick for raycast. Here we go. Core raycast. This is not actually the section I want, though. Okay, well, tell me what I'm doing wrong, then, when this is what they tell you to do. Local ray equals raycast, which raycast is just a, I guess a shortcut to core raycast. It's the same thing. For pointed underscore thing. For pointed underscore thing in ray do. It's exactly what I have. How does pointed thing under not work? Oh, I'm an idiot. That's why it doesn't work, because I had point thing. Point thing? Okay. Should be back momentarily. Yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry everybody. OBS, I don't know what's going on with it. This is like the 4th time it crashed today. Some of the earlier crashes were dealing with the terminal. But I don't know if that's still what's actually causing this. Requested content has type unknown. Okay, I don't know any of that has to do with anything. I'm not really interested in that. I suppose I should probably pull the OBS window down someplace where I can see when it crashes, so I know about this myself. Okay, I'm thinking I have an error. Oh, hey, and it threw my face back on the opposite side. Let me throw my face back over here. And it didn't keep me rotated either. Oh, well, whatever. So if there's a non-blocking, we're going through a loop. Every non-blocking item is now linking to the beacon. That's not what we want. I think I have to go back to... I have to go back to the old system. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'm beginning to see why that function would be preferable, but that's fine. Then we just do count equals count plus 1. And then we're going to remove that, and we're going to take this out. And then we're going to do local count equals 0 so that we have something that we can add the value to. And then we do if count equals 2, then link the beacons. Yeah, I do kind of think doing it just as its own external function would probably be the better way at this point now, because I'm doing a lot of duplicated code here. And that system works, I think, better than this. But there we go. So then I'm just going to go ahead and do a print linked beacons, which as of right now, nothing actually happens when that happens. But I want to, I want to work on that today. I want to do some particle stuff. Particle effects. Of course, without, let me move this so I can see my, thanks for the tutorials. Oh, thank you. I make some here and there. It's fun. I lost my train of thought. What was I doing here? We linked beacons. Oh yeah, I need to put a, I don't know why I'm copying that, because that's not it at all. So then I need to do, I copied it and then I don't use the copy. I don't really know what that means to me, but I think I need to know that. So that's why I'm putting it in. Okay, and I need to see the terminal here. There we go. Okay, so it's printing a bunch of something. So that's, if it's printing something, that means it's adding 1 to the count. Oh, but I did make, no, because these are in the group. It just prints a bunch of somethings spelled wrong because I couldn't be bothered to spell it correctly. Okay, if core get item groups, node name, non-blocking is less than or equal to 0. Oh, well, I didn't put a non-blocking group onto my lights, so call me an idiot and string me up to a tree. That's probably why it doesn't work. Is that an actual expression people use? I don't think so. Let's try this one more time. Okay, well, it's still finding them. So now I'm just really confused. What is going on here? Non-blocking. I believe that was what I had here, right? Non-blocking, yep. And it's spelled the same. Core get item group. Well, let's try the other directional greater than less than sign. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong? I don't know. The node glows. Does that make it a light source? The node is a light source. The beacon itself glows. And then these are actual light sources, but they're invisible light sources. This is... What am I doing wrong? It's counting a ton of things. There should be no other light source around. This is short range. So it only reaches 5 nodes. This is pretty much the furthest node it can reach to. What am I doing wrong here that's making this not work? Okay. So let's try doing this. Did it print less somethings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What? What is he doing? I'm so confused. Crystal source, it doesn't really matter what that number is. Non-blocking group 1. Buildable true, markable false. None of that should matter. I don't know. At this point, I'll try anything, I guess. Let's see if making it invisible and non-pointable changes anything with the results. Now it finds 3. What? How does it find 3? It should be finding 2 or 5. What? It prints something. It printed it 3 times. If core get item group node name is non-blocking is greater than or equal to 0. Oh! I may need to make the beacons non-blocking as well. That would probably be a good idea, actually. Just because it does hit the beacons. I feel like this is going to make things worse than before. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see what happens now. I still get 3. Where does 3 come from? And now I get 2. And now I get 4. And now I get 5. And now I have a whole bunch. What is going on here? There should be like... What? What is it finding? This one might be close enough. Okay, let me go ahead and break some of these. Maybe it's... I should really only have 2 in my test area. Okay, let's put one here. How? What? What? How is it finding so many? There's literally itself. Probably this invisible and this invisible, I'm guessing. What is going on? This is bonkers. This is bonkers, man. Okay, what am I doing wrong? If core get item group node name pointed thing under. That should be itself, right? You know what? Here's an idea. Let's just do a good old print node.name. Let's see what it's hitting. Actually, let's put that... let's do it twice. We'll do it once outside of the check and once inside of the check. And we'll see what's going on. Okay, so it's default snowblock. What is this? So, yeah, this guy reaches 40 nodes. I bet that's interacting with these over here. Boy. Okay, let's see if these numbers, let's see if they're a little more along the lines of what we're expecting now. Okay, well, never mind. I take back everything I just said. Crystal short range. Something. Per the code, that means that crystal short range has non-blocking greater than or equal to 0, which is correct. So let's put that the opposite direction. Okay, then we have crystal short range, but then we also have crystal short range. Why is it finding this so many times? There's no other short range crystals around here. Short range I still had set to 5, right? Short range distance 5. And I'm checking the distance before I even do the ray, right? if the variable is short range and the distance, which distance comes from someplace, here we go, vector distance, position, and other position, which other position comes from string to position key. Key comes from the table of other beacons, so that is all correct. And this is all the same because I copied and pasted it. What's going on? Every time we print something, we're incrementing the count by 1. Okay, well, I'm going to change the directional operator on the greater than less than value here. And let's see what happens now. Okay, we have crystal short range. Then we're getting a default snow block. Where in the world's a default snow block coming from? There's no snow block between these two. Let me just put 1. Okay, crystal short range. There is no crystal short range within 5 nodes of here. What is going on? Okay, that seems correct. Crystal short range 2. Is there just something bugged over here? Oh! I hope you're enjoying watching the meltdown. So... Oh! When the node gets broken, it doesn't remove it from the table. So it's finding the position where every single beacon was that's now been broken because that position hasn't been removed. Oh boy. I feel like an idiot. Okay, well, I guess that would explain a lot of things. So we're going to need to do a, what is it, after dig node? Could the node be ruined anyway outside of digging it? And actually, does an after dig node? Yeah, that was pretty bad, huh? That was not one of my finest moments. Okay, after dig node gives me position, old node metadata, and the digger, which is fine. But what if it's not dug by a player? Well, called after destructing the node when the node was dug using core dig node. Okay, well, what if it was destroyed? After destruct, no destructor called after removing node, not called for bulk node placement, which is fine. And that gives me the function of position and a table of old node. Which I think I'm going to need because I'll need to... Do I need that? I'm not sure. Let's just try the on destruct. That might be all I need. So on destruct, we have a function of position, or a function that takes a position variable that we can pass through to the function, which is useful because we now need to get essentially what we're doing in this onPlace beacon function. So the onPlace beacon function just does a simple key, core position to string position. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Let me eliminate a couple of these things that I don't really need right now. So we have a key, which is this. Then that key is being used here. Crystal data player name key equals fresh data. Ooh. How am I going to get the player's name? If it's not necessarily the player deleting it. I'm going to have to put the player's name into metadata in the node or into the data in the table. It's all being referenced by the player's name for the table here. So I do need... Let's put it in the meta. That's probably the easiest way to do this. So we'll do meta set string And we'll just call it player name because that makes sense. And we'll just set that to player name. And we know that we'll always have that information because we're using it for other things. And I will just go ahead and do the same thing here. So now, for any newly placed, any already placed ones, this doesn't help me at all. But yeah, it'll help for new things. Then I now have a player name. So I do need to change this from the onDestruct function to the, what was it called? The afterDestruct. And wait, does onDestruct, is metadata still valid in onDestruct? No destructor called before removing node. So the metadata might still be valid on this. Let's find out. So we'll just do a local meta equals core get meta at the position. And then we will just do local name equals meta get string of player name. And then just to check it out, we will just do a print name. Okay, let's see what happens. So this was for the short range crystal, which is what I'm holding here. So that's good. Place one, delete it. Did it print me out a name? It did, single player. Woohoo! All right, so now, yep, perfect. So we have a name, which we need for whatever we needed it for, to reference the table here. So now we need to do crystal data player name key equals, I want to remove the table. How do I do that? Can I do that? Can I remove a Lua table by table ID? Remove Lua table entry by ID. Can I just set it to 0? I can add nil according to Stack Overflow. And we all know that Stack Overflow is the best, most reliable resource on the internet. Or you could use a table remove, I guess, but I don't know if that actually works. So I could do my table index equals nil, which I feel like is, I'll try that, because that feels, otherwise I could do a my table remove my table index, removes the entry from the given index, renumbering the indices. I don't really care about the numbering on the indices. It feels like this might be a little faster. I don't care if there's some empty spaces in the indices. Is it really called indices? That's what Stack Overflow says. Stack Overflow knows all. Okay, so then how do I know that this actually did anything? I guess, this is going to be a mess. I'll have to do print dump. Oh, wait, yeah, no, this should actually not be a horrible mess. It probably will be, though. So we're going to dump the key, dump the data from that key. And then we're going to set the key to nil, and then we're going to just dump the same thing again, which should return nil. I would think. I don't know. We're going to find out, I guess. Let's see what the gods have decided to give us today. Okay, so we've put some of these out. Ooh, and a crash. Attempt to index nil value. That could actually be a good thing, though. Right? Because, which line is this in? In line 148. Oh, no, that's in this one. Oh, well, it probably would help if my name was actually called player name, seeing as how that's what I'm using in here. It would probably be wise to have my locals named the same thing as what I'm trying to reference. Hey, okay. And what are we getting? We're getting nameless beacons, link 0, variance, and then afterwards we get nothing. So now if I place 2 of these, I don't think any of them are linking. It's finding a lot of stuff, though, which is fine. Now if I remove these, and I place one someplace where the other ones weren't. Hey! It's only finding the 2 nodes! That means that worked! Swell, swell, swell. Perfect. All right, we're going to remove all of this garbage. I don't need that anymore. I do need to copy this on destruct function and throw it in here. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, so now that I think that's working, where's my raycast bit going here? Not there. Is it the find beacons? Yeah, okay. So I printed these. It didn't ever say it was linked though, did it? Okay, we have one, right? We have another. Crystal short range, it found this, and it also found this, which is fine. But why are they not linked? What is going on here? This doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What? Print node name. The only node that's pulling up is short range. It prints something, so it is adding to the count then, right? Oh no, it's not printing something. It's just printing up. So that means it's saying that it's not non-blocking less than, well, no, because non-blocking set to 1. Okay, let's try this again. Let's put these air nodes in that we can't see anymore. That's fine. And then I'm going to put some snow diagonally in here so that these cannot interact, right? And then we'll put this here. And it does say something a couple times, but I'm not getting a message that it's linked. What do we got going on here? Oh, give me 1 second. I know we've only had like 17,100 million crashes. I got to go attend to the kids' bedtime. So I'll be back in like 10, 15 minutes. There's supposed to be this thing I can do. I don't know how to do it though, where I can like play a video during a break. I have to figure out how that happens because I don't know how that happens. But evidently it's a thing you can do in a stream. I don't understand how. Okay, I'm not seeing an option for that. Oh, maybe it's this thing. Add a stream marker, create highlight video, hit an ad, share. I don't want to do any of that. The hat's tough. Thanks. It's that was for a wedding. Okay, well, I don't know how to make this happen. I'll figure that out tomorrow. I guess I'll just jump onto a server quick, and you can get your 5 minutes of fame of joining a said server and being obnoxious. Because we all want to do that, right? Be obnoxious on a stream. Okay, well, maybe I can't join the server because the server might be down, which would be bad because it's my server. Shutting down. Connection time down. Oh, well, that's fantastic. I wonder how long that's been broken. I would have to imagine the other server is probably offline too then, because, you know, they're both mine. Okay, well, great. My servers are offline. I wonder how long they've been offline. Well, then I don't know what to tell you, because we don't have that either. So, I'm sorry. I guess you just get to sit with this screen for 10, 15 minutes. Go, run to the bathroom, get a drink of water, tell your family you love them. I don't know, do some push-ups, some sit-ups, some squats, work out, something. I'll be back in like 10 minutes. And we're back. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm really confused as to why the server's not online. So while I ran through, I kind of rebooted it. Yeah, it's actually offline. Okay, well that's fun. So where were we? We were at the non-blocking. Yes, so we need to see if this is not working. So I think we pull this back up, break one of these, place one of these, and it's finding the crystals, but it's not saying that they are. It's not saying they're active. So the question then becomes, what am I doing wrong? It's printing the node name off. I made you jump. Oh, I'm sorry. Should I have came back with an air horn? Just so we knew that I was coming back, so you wouldn't be scared when I said hello. You know, just a little warning. An air raid siren, something super loud so you can't miss it, so that when I come back, I don't scare you. Why is this not? I don't understand what's going on here. Break these, break all these. Place one there. It finds no crystals within range, which is good. It's listing only 2 crystals. I think that means it's not. It's saying the crystals are non-blocking. Oh! Duh! Because I made the crystals non-blocking, so the count should now be 0. Man, it's the stupidest things. Like, the dumbest things that are hanging me up on this. Hey, what did it look at? Why does it say it twice, though? Linked beacons. Crystal short range, linked beacons, crystal short range. For pointed thing and ray do. The ray should only be. I think I might have this wrong. What was my readout saying? So I'm getting the name, which I'm assuming is from this first row of crystal short range. Then none of this code runs because it's not at that point. So now my count is 0 and it links the beacons. How many nodes are between those two though? Because I feel like then it pulls up linked beacons for both of the air nodes? I am confused as to what's going on here. Print doing RAID check. Okay, so then we do this. This is our loop. We're printing the node name. If count 0, I'm going to change this to count is 0. Now this link beacons function, that's not, okay, I'm going to say that's not printing out anything that I'm accidentally reading and getting confused on, is it? But it's not. So our 4 runs through to this one. So this will be the end of the for loop then. So then I can do, wow, I can do print raycast done. And then we'll just take a looky peek, see at what our code spits out here. I suppose I do have to scroll down to the bottom of this so we can see our new code. Okay, doing RAID check, crystal short range. That looks good because that is the name from here. Count is 0. Crystal short range, count is 0. Raycast done, linked beacons. I shouldn't get count to 0 twice. That should not happen. So I think this, which does make sense, because this runs for every single item. So I'm checking the count on every single one. Not what we want. So I'm going to do this, remove this, do this. We're going to change our count from being inside of the loop to outside of the loop, which actually makes a lot of sense because I'm setting the count back to 0 every time. Yeah, okay. I think this might actually work this time. Okay, let's see. We'll break this. We'll place it here. Okay, doing ray check. Crystal short range, count to 0, raycast done, linked beacons. Yes! So that means it worked. So now let's make it not work by putting some snow between the two. Just like that, and place this. That's not good. So we have doing a ray check, crystal short range, which is itself. Snow block and snow block, it's hitting 2 snow blocks. Which, yeah, that, if I'm coming from the center of this, I'm probably hitting the corner of this and the corner of this to hit that. Snow block, snow block. Then I get something because it is not in the non-grouping. So I'm adding 1 to the count. But the count's not being sent back. That's the problem. Crystal short range, raycast done. Wait, why does linked beacons print after I get the raycast done print? That's not right. If I'm dealing with short range, I should be doing the ray check. That should be my first print. Then I'm printing the node name, which is short range, snow block, snow block. Snow block prints from here and then prints from here and says something, so we're adding 1 to the count. Then we get the next node, which is the snow block, so we print the name snow block again. We also print something because we're adding 1. And then our last node from here is the crystal short range, which is correct. And then we get the print raycast done. But then after this, I'm getting a linked beacons. I don't even have a linked beacons. Wait, I would have a variable long range. Is there a long range beacon that's close enough to this? Where is there a long range beacon around here? Oh, you know, it's probably that one that was over wherever it was that I destroyed. Okay, well, we're gonna fix that real quick by changing the long range beacon to only have a range of 1. Because that'll kill that real quick. Okay, let's try this again. Bada boom, bada bing. Raycast done. And I'm not getting it saying that it reaches, which is good. Now if we take these 2 out and break this and replace it, I get count to 0, raycast done. Count to 0 means that it linked the beacons. So that is working. I just have a database full of bad bits of data. Ooh. Attempt to index nil value. I'm assuming the onNode destruct, yeah, because that's trying to get a player name which doesn't exist on anything that was placed after. I may have to just start up a new world, which probably is not a bad idea, honestly. Okay, so I now need to copy all of this and throw that into this. I'll just do that because I can throw the ends in as needed. Actually, that looks just like it should be. Okay, so then I can get rid of all of these print statements. I don't need them anymore. Thank goodness. Okay, count to 0. We don't care about that. And we don't care about that. And then if it's a short range, we're doing this. We'll get rid of all these. It feels good to solve a problem, even if it was just a really tiny problem that should not have been a problem. Okay. So now we can actually do some fun stuff with linking the beacons, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's too early for that. I need to know about particle systems. Particle systems, particle systems. How do we do a particle system? I don't know, but I know we can. Particle, which I guess I spelled wrong. Particle system. I guess it's not called particle system. It's probably particle underscore. Oh, particle spawner? I don't know. Particle spawner definition. Oh, right. Used by core add particle spawner. Before 5.6, particle spawners use different syntax, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about that. Modern definition fields after 5.16. That's what we want. So we have, I don't really care about any of this. I can tween things, whatever that even means. I can do vectors. I can do vector ranges. I don't know. I thought I could make particles go between two different positions. I don't even know how I'm going to make this work. Table attract sets the birth orientation of particles relative to relative shapes defined in world coordinate space. Okay. Okay. Line. Particles are attracted to an infinite line pointing to the point origin with direction specified by direction. Ay! Sounds like what I need. But I don't know how you tell it how long that's supposed to be. Textures, particle spawners. Okay, well this sounds like it's all quite complicated. The only thing I can think of that I have that uses particles, which is old, is from Epic, which I believe is in here. And it's probably in here. There's like the healing lantern something, another thing. There's actually a whole piece called particles. A piece, yes. A file called particles. Let me get rid of all that, so I don't accidentally save it and bork the game. So we have particle spawners for things. Yeah, I mean, okay. So we just create a function to add a particle spawner. That seems basic enough. I wish it really told you in the API like how to do this. Used by core add particle spawner. All right, well, thanks. Can I just do this? Core.add particle spawner. And then I need a definition field as such, I guess, with an amount, right? I do still need an amount. Number of particles spawned over the time period of time. Okay, so we'll do amount equals, I don't know, 20. Time. Lifespan of spawner in seconds. If time is 0, spawner has an infinite lifespan and spawns the amount on a per second basis. See, now that sounds good. Except for the issue that I will explain when we see the issue, because I feel like this is going to cause an issue. Because what happens when one of them breaks? And then it just keeps spawning particles anyways? I don't really want that. Size. Is size of particle. In reference to what? Absolutely no idea. So I'll just go with 5, I guess. I don't know. Collision detection. We're going to set that to false because theoretically there should be nothing for these particles to colliding because we're checking to make sure it's in just airspace between them. Collision removal. I don't think I need that if I don't have collision detection. That wouldn't make sense. Object collision. I shouldn't really need that. Vertical. I don't know what that means. Texture. Well, I don't have a texture. Player name. Exclude players. Animation. Glow. We do want glow. Definitely want glow. Values 0 through 14. Let's do 8. Just cuz. Why not? Node tile. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's not anything I want. Okay, well, so that's great and all, but how does it know where to spawn them? I'm confused. What am I missing? Oh, wait, am I maybe doing this all wrong? Should I be doing core add particle? What's the difference? Spawn particle at position with velocity and acceleration. So I can do an individual particle? Or I can do a particle spawner. I don't understand what the difference is or why I would want. For instance, it can be okay, blah blah blah. The old, I don't care about the old syntax. What's my new syntax? Position equals vector new. All particles will appear at this exact position through the lifetime of the particle spawner. Okay, well, I think that's what I want. But I don't know. I have no idea what's going on here. We're going to do position equals position, I guess. Because that'll give it a position to spawn from? Yeah. But I want to make them move between two positions. And then how do I delete a particle spawner? Okay, well let's see what happens. I didn't give it a texture or anything, so I don't know what it's going to display, if anything. So, attempt to index no value. So that must be one that's okay. We'll run far away from that, so it's not an issue. Here we have one. Let's put out some of these invisible lights. It's funny how an invisible light casts a shadow. That shouldn't happen. Okay. I mean, they should be linked, right? So, where are my particles at? I'm not seeing any particles. Do I need to make them bigger? Do I need to give them a texture? I feel like they probably need some sort of a texture somehow, huh? Texture, okay. And we're back. I don't know why OBS is crashing. Maybe it's because it's also recording while streaming. I never had an issue with that in the past. I've also never used a single one of these recordings that I've made from a stream, so I don't know if there is any point whatsoever in doing that. There probably isn't, so I'm going to get rid of it. All right, so texture, it just needs to have a texture. I don't have a texture for it. So I'll just give it something that doesn't exist, and then it can give me a texture doesn't exist texture. Okay. Where's my particles? Are they stuck in the inside of the... Yeah, I suppose. If I don't tell the particles to do something, they ain't gonna do nothing. They probably need some initial velocity, huh? Okay, well that's fun. How do I do that? So that's my position, which is fine. Yeah, I don't know what any of this means. Points to blah, blah, blah. No, I just want the particle to move. Why does that not have an option? All the properties are going to blah, blah, blah. List of particle spawner properties. Blah, blah. Is the position, the initial velocity. Okay, so I need a velocity. Or I could do an acceleration. I can also do a jitter. And I can do drag. And there's this whole attract thing. Could I? This is so confusing. Position. Okay, so I need an acceleration value. And what is acceleration set? That is... Acceleration, the direction and speed at which particle accelerates. Well, that's great because it's a vector. So I don't know. ACC equals... Do I have to do a vector new for this? Or can I just put a... It looks like I need to do a vector new, which is fine. I don't mind. Vector.new. And then a table. We want it just to go up. So we'll do 0.50. And that should make these particles now kind of float. I think. Or not. Oh, it's floating all right. It just doesn't have a lifetime of any value. Wait, how do I set the lifetime? Was that the time? Time is the lifetime. Why did I set the lifetime to... No, wait. Lifetime of spawner. If the timer is 0 and has an infinite lifespan, spawns the amount on a per second basis, which is fine. So we'll set that to... Can I do like a fractional? Like a 0.5? Is there like a lifetime or something? Like how does it determine how long the particle lives for? Because that's kind of important. Position, velocity, acceleration, size, drag, bounce. Ah, here we go. EXP time. EXP time is the expiration time. Let's, I don't know, 12 seconds. I just want something so I can see it, you know? See if my particles are actually doing anything. We're going to break you. And we're going to place this. Hey, there we go. Yeah, I mean, they're a little big and they're way too exact. So we're going to change the size down to 2. And it definitely needs some jitter. So I guess I just do a jitter equals vector new 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. I don't know. I want it to have some jitter. I don't want it doing the exact same thing over and over. You know what I mean, man? There we go. Well, I would say that's it, but they're all going in the exact same direction, which I feel like is 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. I didn't think what jitter was supposed to do. Vec3 range jitter offsets the velocity of each particle by a random amount within the specified range each frame, used to create Brownian motion. I mean, that's cool, but do I need to do like a... Does jitter needs to equal a table of 2 different values? I don't know what I'm doing, man. I am so confused right now. So I'm guessing I need this and this. And then this needs to equal minimum, which I suppose I should make all of these -5 values. You know, actually this one I'll set to -1, because that would be the... Well, actually, no, I'll leave it at 5, because I don't know which direction this thing is going to be traveling. I have no idea. I have no idea. What? And what am I doing? I need help. Min and max equals vector new 0.5, comma 0.5, comma 0.5. It's expecting a square brace to close the brace. Well, I have that. So now what? Huh? Vector new is just this. Do I put both of these within a table? I need an example. I don't understand what I'm doing. We have scale, which is fine. This is all... There's text pools. I don't know what any of this means. I am not well versed in particles. Hey, a human being sent 3 flowers. Very nice. Very nice flowers. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I want... Well, because this has a minimum acceleration and a max acceleration. Minimum velocity, max velocity. There's also a minimum XP time and a max XP time, which I don't know if they're still valid. Vertical? I don't know what that means. Minimum size, max size. Can I do that? Can I do a min size? We want the smallest particle to be 1. And a max size equals 3 to give it some variance. This whole jitter bit, it's not liking what I'm doing. I don't know. Well, oh, I'm dropping a lot of frames for some reason. That's cool. I love dropping frames. Here's what I like to do. I like to look at other people's mods and find out if anybody's doing it. So what I just do is I just jump into my mods folder that has 847 different mods. And I open a terminal and I just type in grep recursive and then the string I want to grep for, which in this case would be jitter. Okay, well it finds it in a bunch of binary files, which is really helpful. Not. For some reason that's in a lot of blend files. I have hands has a jitter in it. All right, let's check out I have hands. I don't remember I have hands using particles, but you know what? I ain't gonna complain if it's got particles and it actually means something and it does something. Jitter. Well, it's found twice. And it's in API stuff that's not being used. Although, this is something different. So what it has... Okay, well, maybe I'm just an idiot and I'm not supposed to be doing this. It just has jitter as a table that holds 3 values. Minimum jitter. Minimum jitter equals 1, I suppose. We have a max jitter, which equals, I don't know, 5. I don't know what these numbers mean. And there's a bias. I have no idea what the bias means. It works though, so let's see what happens when we play this world. Okay, we are definitely getting some variation in there, which is good. So now that means I want to change my acceleration. No, wait. Okay. My acceleration is vector new, which is just positive 5 going up. Or 0.5, sorry. 0.5 going up. Minimum size. Oh, were they different sizes? I didn't pay too much attention. I kind of do hate that I have to break it every time to get some particles. They are different sizes, so that's good. They're going a little fast, honestly. But I suppose that's okay. Yeah, why are they all going in that direction? Every time. Every time they're... Well, what if I break another one? It goes in the exact same direction. Okay, well, why are they going in that direction? Acceleration, vector new. Is it because of the jitter? I'm going to change this to 0.1. Because that 0.5 seems like it's a little fast for what I want. And I should really make this whole particle... Oh, well, that's helpful when it's a color I can't see. It's doing the exact same thing. Bro! I don't want them going in that... What is going on? If I take the jitter out, does it go away? Because if it does, it means it's my jitter doing it. Okay, well, so we now know that jitter is not working the way it's supposed to work. That's unfortunate. I wanted to just kind of go randomly. L-Dog of War, you're back? That's cool. I still have no idea what I'm doing. Well, let me go ahead and try doing this. Let me search the API for jitter. The following keys can be... Wait, what? Oh, never mind. That's a totally different type of jitter. That's packet jitter for get player information. A jitter range. Consult the following section. Okay, well, that's very helpful. All properties in this list of type vec3 ranges, float range, or vec3 can be animated with tween tables. For example, jitter can be tweened by setting a jitter tween table instead of or in addition to a jitter table value. This also applies to the attracts table. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds to me like I can do jitter underscore tween, and that's supposed to make something different. What's tweening? Okay, so what does tweening do? A float range is a table defined as so. Min A, max B, A and B are supplemented values. For a vec3 range means that there are vectors. Types used are defined in the previous sections. Position, the velocity, the acceleration, the size. Jitter offsets the velocity of each particle by a random amount within the specified range each frame, used to create Brownian motion. Why is it always going to one side for every single particle? What if I take off the acceleration? I can't imagine that I can have jitter without acceleration, can I? Guess we're going to find out. I can break this. Yeah, they're kind of just chilling. So I definitely have to have some acceleration for jitter to do anything. Okay, so what am I doing with my jitter tweening? Like, how do I need a better example. I don't know what this means. Let's see if jitter exists anywhere else in any other files. Someone has it in a Skyblocks. Mine test smoke. Okay, well, that's a super old mod, so I'm not even going to look at that because that's not going to be useful at all. This is also not useful. The only one thing I'm seeing here is there's a skyblock in the Everness, or Skybox, I think it said. Okay, and which file was this? It's in the Skybox. I feel like this is probably not going to do me any good either because I don't know how you'd have particles. No, it's for lava stone. Okay, sweet. Something that kind of maybe is what I want. So it's doing a jitter. Okay, we're going to try this. I'm seeing a lot of very different things here. So this has a size equals a table with a minimum value and a max value. There should be an equal sign between that. Pardon my stupidity. There we go. So we now have a size, which I'm going to actually inline these because, let's be real, wasting a whole line to do this is kind of pointless. So we're just going to do this. Am I hitting the right key? I am not hitting the right key. There we go. Okay, so we have size. Now I'm seeing jitter here. I'm just going to copy that and we'll see if anything even happens. I have jitter. I don't know why this indentation is so wonk. Probably because I copied from something that uses a different indentation style. Yeah, we're just going to indent it all the way till it's not indented. Unindent? Undent? Indent and undent? Is it considered undenting when you unindent? It's probably not, but it should be. Oh, hey, we got some more people. I'm back. Use random. Random what? I'm not sure. Joblissimo? Jobly? Do you remember me? I don't think so. Not enough range. You think I needed more range in the jitter? I don't know what jitter is. You're like me trying to debug the ranged weapons mod. Ranged weapons uses jitter in it? What? For shooting the bullets? That would actually kind of make sense. Okay, let's see. Oh, I didn't put acceleration back in. Hey, but things are doing a little more what I want them to do. Oh, I do actually still have some acceleration at 0.1 upwards. Okay, let me take the acceleration away now. Does the jitter do anything without the acceleration? Essentially, in the end, want this to be attracted to the other. Okay, it does. That's probably too much jitter, though. Can there be too much jitter? Yes, there can, because I do want this to be going to the other. Okay, so let's take these from a 1 value to a 0.5. Ooh, not a 3. A 0.5. The trouble is, I don't know. You don't know which way the beacons are going to be from each other. So you kind of have to just do equal jitter on all axes. Because you could actually have a beacon on top of each other. Jobbly from Discord. Sorry? Sorry? It doesn't sound familiar. Okay, give me some particles. Give me some particles. There we go. There we go. 1 particle, 2 particles, 5 particles, 12 particles. Okay. That's kind of what I want. All right. Now I need to make them attract to something. How do I make them attract? I'm assuming I probably don't have attract in this file. No. I didn't think I would. I did also just turn on an overview of the file. That's cool. I don't know how I did that. Did I help? Wait, help with what? I'm confused. Dog of War. What were you trying to help with that I... Oh, wait. I don't know when you left. So I don't know. It is working now-ish. I just need to figure out this particle bit to make it attract to something. There's a way you can do this. Now I need to look. So there's an attraction someplace. Okay, table attract sets the birth orientation of particles relative to various shapes defined in world coordinate space. I'm sorry, what? This is an alternative means of setting the velocity which allows particles to emerge from or enter into some entity or node on the map, rather than simply being assigned random velocity values within a range. The velocity calculated by this method will be added to that specified by velocity if velocity is also set. So in most cases, velocity should be set to 0. Attract has the fields. String kind selects the kind of shape towards which the particles will be oriented. It must have one of the following values: none, point, line, or plane. So... Again, I really wish there was like some actual documentation with examples rather than just documentation, because I don't know what any of this means. So we're going to do attract, and this is a table, so it's going to do this. And then there's kind equals king. Kind equals... I'm assuming I need to put line inside of parentheses... or inside of quotes, because it's a string. This is a line. The particles are attracted to an infinite line passing through the point origin with direction specified by direction. So I just do direction and then position 2? Shrug? I don't know. Let's give her a whirl. What's the worst that can happen? It crashes? Okay, we have some particles. They don't appear to be attracted to anything. That's should be close enough where they would be attracted to this. You know, now I don't know. Is this linking to only this one, or is it linking to all 3 of these? Because it really should be linking to all 3. I guess I don't know how to tell that. Although if this is spitting out 3 times as many particles as this one is... which I can't tell if it is. It might be. That would mean it did link to all 3, which would be correct. But they're definitely not traveling towards the node that they were meant to be traveling towards. So, yeah, that's still a bit of an issue. Okay, find nodes. It's okay. That applied to fire smoke too? That's actually exactly where I ripped the code from. It's from the Everness mod. It was in Skyblocks, which is weird because it's actually, I think I closed the file. Yeah, it's actually for not for smoke. It was for lava spurts. I don't know what you would call it. Like, lava when it's in a liquid state. Lava's always in a liquid state. When it hardens, it's no longer lava. Anyway, when it's like bubbling and everything, you get those little pops coming out of it, little explosions of molten rock, I guess. That's what the code that I found this jitter in was from. But yeah, the attract bit isn't helping. That would work very good for smoke particles and stuff. And actually, I will need. There's gonna be so many different particle spawners. So the beacons themselves should have a particle spawner similar to this. That is just particles coming up out of it when it has power. So you know that it's alive, it's active, whatever. You don't need to go replace its energy source. But this needs to be traveling towards another node. Okay, so line. The particles are attracted to an infinite line passing through the point origin. I wonder if I need to take jitter out. Is jitter just killing it? Maybe? I would think you would be allowed to have jitter on that though, but maybe not. Okay. Well, I don't know, but I'm going to have to say that doesn't look like it's going towards either of these two, so I think that's a failure. Float range. Float range strength. Oh, do I need to put more things in? Do I need a strength table? Maybe I should have finished reading through the documentation. Float range strength, the speed with which particles will move towards the attractor shape. If negative, the particle will instead move away from that point. Okay, well, I guess we want it to move towards it, so I'll set it to 1, because I don't know what these values mean. Is that 1 node a second? Is that 1, I don't know. Vec3 origin. Wait, what's the origin? The origin point of the attractor shape towards which the particle will initially be oriented. Functions as an offset if origin attached is also set. What? So then I'm putting... This doesn't make any sense. Or actually, maybe it does. Actually, I guess it kind of does make sense. Because how can I have a direction if I don't... If I give you 1 point in space and say the direction is 0, 25, 31, but you don't know where you are relative to 0, 25, 31, you really don't have a direction. You need to know where you're standing at to know where that is relative to you to have a direction. So I guess that actually does make a lot of sense. So that's probably just me not finishing reading. Okay, let's see what happens now. And particles in minutes. They're still just going. Why are they going up? Do I need to take away the acceleration? Let's take away the acceleration. Maybe the acceleration needs to go into this other table thing. I don't know. Come on, baby. Particles don't go straight up. They're just staying inside of the... Bruh. Okay, well, so clearly that was not the correct solution to the issue. Imagine fire smoke attracting to players. That... I think you said... I think it said you could do that. Blah, blah, blah... Someplace here. The origin point of the attractor shape towards which the particles will initially be oriented functions as an offset if origin attached is also set. So actually, no, it's not. But I thought I saw someplace. Maybe I'm just losing it. The attract. It does say this is an alternative means of setting the velocity which allows particles to emerge from or enter into some entity or node on the map. So I do feel like you could take an entity and take the location of that entity and pass it to this. But I really don't know. Like, does this attract? It can't update because it's just a particle spawner. And it's set once and with that position. So it could go towards that player. I guess if you made the particle spawner and you gave it a lifetime of only a couple seconds, or maybe a second, and then you just kept re-adding a new particle spawner after that one ran out, every time you could see where that player was at relative to the fire and have the smoke go towards them. Theoretically, that should work. But first you would have to figure out how to make the attract thing actually function, because, I'm not having so much luck with that. Let me grab everything for attract. Let's see. Hey, what do you know? It's in a bunch of binary files again. NPC stats. Okay, well, none of that has anything to actually do with this. Interesting, though. In the Everness mod, again, fun fact, this mod is quickly becoming my favorite mod. We have an API. Oh, that might just be the plain old Lua API. I don't know. Attract. It has a point. Oh, hey, this is for another particle spawner. I'm not sure what this particle spawner is doing, but it has an attract. It's using a kind of point with a strength of 0.5, origin of position, and a die in contact equals true. Does it have one that's not a kind of point? No, they're all kind of point. That's unfortunate. But it does tell me I do need the origin, so that's good. And kind is correct because it's kind equals point inside of quotes, and I have line inside of quotes. So that makes me think I am doing this correct, which is good. So if I'm doing line, the particles are attracted to an infinite line passing through a point, origin, with direction specified by direction. I mean, I feel like I have what I need then. Use this for beacon effects, energy beam effects, etc. Well, I'm trying to do exactly that, a beacon effect. Do I just need more strength? What does the strength even actually do? I don't know. Where did I even find this strength thing? Float range strength, the speed at which particles move towards the attractor shape. I'm going to put it to 10. No, I'm going to put it to 100. I've got nothing to lose. If I see particles just like bullets, I'll know it's right. And if I see particles not doing anything, I'll know it's an epic failure. This is epic. Do we have to put the acceleration back in? I'll put the acceleration. I'll put the jitter back in. I just need something to do something. I need the particles to go through the beacons. That way we know that the beacons are powered. Okay. Okay. We definitely don't have. It's not traveling towards anything. Am I doing something wrong in the code? Add particle spawner. Origin, position, direction, position 2. I have position 2. The positions are actual position data, right? Yeah, because I have position equals position and they're spawning from the node. I wonder if that would be really awkward. Am I not supposed to define the starting? No, clearly that wasn't it, because now I don't have any particle system. So we definitely do need the position declared. Okay. Atlas Games working on your game too. Excellent. Can't wait. Dog of War, find position. Well, I know what position is. And that does what I need. I feel like the particles are attracted to an infinite line passing through the point origin with direction specified by direction. They're attracted to an infinite line. So do I maybe need to switch the two around? Say the origin is position 2 and the direction is position? That really wouldn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. Float range strength. Then we also do still have another origin. Wait, am I doing... I'm so confused. So is the strength not supposed to be set within the table of kind? Is that what I'm doing wrong? I have no idea. You would think you would want that. If I'm setting a strength for the attraction, you would think that would be set in the attraction table, wouldn't you? Maybe you wouldn't. Maybe I'm just dumb. It would be funny if it worked perfectly now, right? Well, I guess I'm not just dumb. I mean, I am, but that's not the case of the issue. Okay. There's a radius. If set particles will be arranged in a sphere around position. Okay, I really don't care. Why does this just not work? What am I doing wrong? Okay, well, it existed in a couple other files. It's also in nodes and tools in the Everness mod. So, let's see. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's see what it says here. We have another particle effect, it appears. And this one is doing a point again with a strength of 1 and an origin of V underscore position. V underscore position is... It's attracting to a point of V1 position. You know what? Let's just try this. Because I know this point thing allegedly works because it's working here. He does have the strength put in this table, though. So I'm going to put the strength back in the table. And then we're doing an origin, but we're not doing a direction. The origin is V underscore position, which I don't know if that's the current position. Does this ever... The position is V position preview. So this position and this position should be different. Okay. Let's see what happens with a point thing. I mean, maybe a point thing will work. Or not. This is really disappointing. Particles, just do your particle thing. It's not even placing a particle. What? What? How did I break that so badly? What? What did I do to make it not work at all now? We have an attraction kind of point. Oh, maybe the strength's just too high. Let's put it down to 5. I don't think that's the case. And then we have an origin, which is position 2. Position 2 is a valid position because we call position to string on it to turn this into a string. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Whoa! Hey! Whoa! Particles! Okay, I guess a strength of 100 was definitely a smidge excessive. Because that was 5, and that was already excessive. Yeah. Bro, it's working! It's working! I got particles go. So what's the whole deal with the line thing then? I don't need the line. This works. This is epic. Now this is epic. Let's make it dark. Oh, I gotta spell time right. I'm too excited. I can't. There we go. You? Okay. We need more distance. Let's put the short range. We'll put that up to 15. We'll put the long range up to 30, because why not? All right, let's check this out. Hey, Neptunian Wave. I do remember you. I don't remember anything about you, but I remember your name. Thanks for coming to the stream. Thanks for the $2. There are people liking this comment. Can I like the comment too? Is this like a thumbs up? I don't know what this means. It says 3. I don't know what that means. What does 3 mean? I don't know. There's a 3 on it though. It means something. I don't know what. And now I'm stuck with stuff. I hope YouTube gave him the $2. Oh, I'll get the $2. No, I'll get the $2, but it'll be once I have $100 worth of ad revenue is when that'll come into my account. But I will get it. Okay. Let's do some epic stuff. This should work, right? And now every single one of these down here. Nice! Check it out! They're still going too fast. Oh, yeah! That took way too long to figure out. Okay, so they need to be slower, and I think I need more of them. And the brownie in motion needs to be stronger? I mean, the jitter. Okay, so I think I can... Let me take away this acceleration before we change anything else. Let's get rid of that acceleration, because it said something that would already do things. My stream was resetted 3 minutes back. What? That doesn't make sense. Oh, I do have to... This is kind of annoying. I need a better way of doing this. I have to break the node every time I want to make this work. I don't think it's going any different speed, to be perfectly honest. Which is fine. I don't mind that. What's the theme? Oh, yeah, I suppose if you haven't watched the original stream. So I'm doing a... Oh, obviously, it's the game for the Game Jam. I'm hoping that's obvious. Maybe it's not. It has kind of been all over the place, hasn't it? It's for the Game Jam. My idea this time around is it's kind of like a tower defense, but it's also a resource collection and gathering kind of game. Basically, now that this is back up and running, I can explain it a little. Stealing the code, you're done. I will have this code up as soon as I come up with a game name. The code will be on something. There we go. That's better. They're still going way too fast, though. And I think that put the brownie up maybe a little too high. So basically, the idea here is it's a land of perpetual darkness. The sun's exploded. I don't know why or how, but the sun exploded. And when it did, or like shattered, even though it's a gaseous star and it really doesn't have any shattering it can do, but it shattered and all these sunstones came to the earth, which are Mies crystal fragments currently, because I haven't made them. So you'll collect Mies crystals from different things, monsters on the ground. I think there'll be like some stone kind of things on the ground that you can collect them from. I actually had a tower defense game last year. Yeah, this is a little different tower defense, though, because you're not... How would you explain the difference? You're not like a god controlling the people, which you didn't really have a whole lot of control over the people last year, but you're on the ground this time. Like, you're building everything from blocks. So you're building these towers and putting the beacons up on them. So you collect the crystals, and then you can build these beacons. And you link the beacons together, and once the beacons are linked together, that makes them brighter. They put extra lights out so you lighten up your areas, which keeps the monsters away. If your beacons aren't connected to things, then the monsters can steal the crystals out of them, which will essentially turn them off. And then they don't provide any light, and yeah, that's not good. Torches will be made with the crystals, and they'll burn out, but the crystals just kind of lose their energy. They can be recharged in a recharging station, which will require having some beacons that are providing power to it. Or if the torch is placed on the ground close enough to a beacon within range of the beacon, then the torch won't lose any light because it's linking to the beacon, but torches won't link to each other, only to beacons. Then... yeah, they'll be like these scary monster-looking things, which I don't know how scary they'll actually be. And you'll fight them to collect resources, because they'll have crystals on them. And there'll be trees, dead trees. Obviously, with no sunlight, there's no vegetation's really alive. So the trees will all be dead, and you'll just collect the wood from them. Somehow you'll collect stone, which I'm not sure yet, because I don't really want to have too much mining going on. The idea is to... oops. That couldn't link to anything, but this one should. Oh, wow, it's linking to stuff far away. Or to stuff that used to exist far away, which doesn't exist anymore. This is nice. It's a little noisy, though. I might need to make them smaller, and they definitely need to be slower. But yeah, so it'll be The concept kind of comes from Dinotopia a little bit, which was an old like TV show, TV movie, and book. And they had these things called sunstones, and they would like scare away the monsters, but they also provided energy. Yeah, this is way better, but now there's way too many. So I decreased that by 5. So I guess I want to decrease the amount by 5. So we'll put it to 0.75, which isn't really decreasing by 5, but yeah, whatever, it's good enough. Okay, they're probably too big. Like there's too much going on. Well, now the Brownian motion is way too strong because they're going too slow. This is going to be a lot of tweaking. Size. Can I use a decimal? Can I do like a 0.5 size up to a maximum of 1? Actually, let's do a 0.25 to a maximum of 1. Brownian motion, I mean, jitter, you're going back to 0.5 because 1 seems like it's too much. That was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be lazy and just copy paste the number. Because otherwise I have to look at the numpad on the keyboard, and that's hard to do because the microphone blocks it. Okay. So let's try this again. If this... Okay, that's more what we're talking about. Little particles. Now, I wouldn't imagine anybody would build this dense. You'd be a little dense to build this dense. Oh, here's a problem, though. They're traveling... Or are they? No, I don't think they are. I think they die when they hit it. Or they stop, whatever. Because they're going towards this one. Nothing's coming out through there, yeah. That one must have been too far to reach this, which is fine. I don't think anybody in the game would actually place this many this close, because they're going to be kind of expensive to get. So it wouldn't make sense to do that. They do kind of glow, which is nice. And they just let you know they're connected. Obviously, though, issue, nothing's connected now. But obviously, they are all connected. Also, this is going to put a lot of particle systems in, which may or may not be good. I don't know. So I'm going to make a new function. I love my functions. And we're just going to throw the particle system into the function. Because then I can call it from an ABM. So we'll just do function crystal particle system. What time is it? Oh, I got to get things wrapped up here pretty soon. Okay, we're going to need just 2 positions, actually. We need position and we need position 2. And then the function's literally just this. This. And then we just dump that there. And then, oops, I didn't want that. And then we end. Okay, and then we take all of this out because we're not interested in that. Now, this is where it gets a little funky, though. So if we linked 2 beacons, how do we determine which beacon's our main beacon? Which one do we want the light or the particles coming out of? Or do we want it coming from both to both? Because I could do that by just doing this and then changing one to, I think, be the opposite. Let's check. I feel like that would work. Oh, I'm going to have to do a lot of tweaking to get these speeds just right. That's for sure. Okay, I have particles coming out of... Ooh, that's weird. I have like random particles flying really fast to someplace. What? What is going on? And my Brownian motion seems... You know, let's travel a little further away here. Let's go someplace where there'll be no interference. We'll just put some snow blocks down so we get a height difference here. Put one there and we'll put one here. Okay, the one on the ground sending up some particles to this, as it should. The one up here, what is this doing? Oh, great. There's like little particles. Okay, well, what if I break this one? And then I put a new one down. Then that fixes that. See, this is more or less what I want. It's hard to see them because I made the particles so tiny. But there's something wonky going on. Let's change this to minimum size of 1. Maximum size of 1, so they'll be all a uniform size. And then I'll break that one and place it back out. So these are going as we would like. What is this doing? I'm so confused. This is literally... Wait, I'm an idiot. I have position 0. Position 0 doesn't exist. Oh, it's probably going to 0, 0, 0. Okay, let's see if fixing the typo fixes the problem. I bet it does. Or it just makes it not... Oh, there we go. There's one. There's some R. Woohoo! There we go! There we go! Nice! Nice, nice, nice. Now, do they kind of congeal back together? I guess I'd have to put a higher count of them. Well, for main to a sub, that in theory sounds good. But there's really no such thing as a main to a sub. You have long range and short range, but you can link long range to long range and long range to short range. And the short range you can link to other short ranges, but you can also link them to long ranges. So I could have the particles only come from a long range to a short range. That would be a non-issue. And then when I have two long ranges linked, which long range decides? I mean, I guess anytime you put a new beacon out, any beacon it linked to would be the power provider, wouldn't it? And it would only get funny when you had two sets of beacons that were already connected to other beacons but weren't connected to each other, either because there was something blocking the path, or you put one beacon in the middle that now connected to the two. But that one wouldn't be an issue, because if you put one in the middle, both, you're right, that would work. So I only do need it one way, but I don't know which way that is. So I'll just go with this. Oh, this does make it really funky for this. So when I come back in, I need an ABM or LBM or something to start the particle systems back up. How is that going to know which one's the main and which one's the master and the slave? An ABM's not going to know, just going to randomly pick one. I suppose I could store that in the table that I'm storing all of the node information in. That would work, I think. Would it? Because it's going to link to multiple. Anytime I put one down, everything has to be so complicated, Every time you put one down, it's going to look to see everything it can link to. Okay, so I do have this backwards, because both of these are already existing, so they should be feeding to this. So I do want to change that, which is no big deal. As long as I don't put it to something that doesn't exist, like an idiot. All right, so now, if we break that and place a new one, we get particles coming from both. Which is, wait, where is this particle going? Bro, you got a bit too much jitter going on there. It doesn't look like they do. I think I can change that though, because I want to have the jitter happen in the middle, but then go away when it comes back here. So it starts from this the interior of this, and it comes to the middle of this, and midway through, it does its Brownian waving jitter, you know? I think that was an option. Yeah, because this works for now, but then how do I... This would have to store both of the connected nodes. That sounds like storing a lot of data that I'm guessing a lot of players probably wouldn't care about. If I do it with two, yeah, so I just duplicate this line and switch my directions. Then I don't need to worry about any of that. And an ABM would just... No, but how does the ABM work? The ABM can do the particle system, but it needs to know both positions of the linked tables, or the linked beacons. And I don't really want to be doing the whole find beacons every single time that the ABM fires, because I feel like that's a bit excessive. I suppose every time I link a beacon, I could store that data to the beacon itself. Because I'm already storing the number of links each beacon has, because that's important for when monsters are attacking. If it has enough other beacons linking to it, the monsters can't break it, because the other beacons, like give it an energy shield or something, it protects it. So I'm already dealing with all of this. So what if I just put in position 2 is the beacon that was found? I should really have some commenting on this. Position is newly placed beacon. Position 2 is found beacon. Just so I know what's going on. So I'd want to save position 2 to the data of key 1. Data 1 dot I don't know what to call this. Beacons? that's not going to be confusing down the line. Equals something. It can't just equal position 2, though, because there'll be multiple beacons, potentially, that are linked. So I need to store the positions in some sort of a table. Or a string table. Now, what I did... I think actually that was in last year's game, what I did. I was looking at this when I was doing the brainstorming session the other day. There was some kind of a table thing that the repairmen dealt with. And I did this goofy thing. Here we go. So local jobs. So we have a repair queue, which is just a string. And we get the jobs by doing a string split repair queue with a pipe. So I did... Actually, let me see. Where do I have... I don't know where this is actually put in. It was a... I think it was a good system. Maybe it was a horrible system. I don't know. So we had someplace the buttons, you could repair it. Somehow. Someplace. Right, here we go. Field repair. So when you repaired, you had a new position, which was the position of itself. It was actually one node above itself because pathfinding, it was a whole thing. Anyways, so it took a position, and we turned that position to a string. And then we just took this table of strings, and we appended this to the tail end of it with a pipe. Or wait, no, we took the table... We appended the... Is appended the right word? I don't know if appended is the right word. We put it at the end of it. I think it's actually... no, I can never pronounce it correct. concatenated, I think is the right way to pronounce it. We concatenated these two strings, and then we concatenated a pipe behind that. So then in the, of course, the other file that's no longer open because things, not research, I wanted repairmen. They looked at that string and they could split it by each pipe because the pipe will never appear in a position to string output. You could use any character you want. It just needs to be a character that you won't have in a position string, which in this case a pipe won't. So it just split at a pipe. Someplace. Here we go. Local job string split. Repair queues the name of the string at the pipe. I couldn't tell you what the false and the one mean. That's something string split does. I don't know what. So it throws out a table called job, and then you just look at the first entry to job. And then in this case, excuse me, once that job was finished, it removed it from the string. And then the next job that would run would be obviously the next job that was available in the string. In my case, for this game, we wouldn't be removing anything from that string. Well, I guess we would if we ever broke a node. Ugh. But I could do a string find and find the string of the position encoded as a string. I don't know if encoded is the right word. Converted to a string. I could do a string find to find the string of the position, and then I could eliminate that string plus a pipe from the string because it's no longer a table. And then every time that I need to rerun the ABMs for the particle systems, I just parse through that table, turn it in, or parse through the string, split it at the pipes, turn it back into a table, and then each one of those strings convert back into a position. Whoo-wee! It sounds like whoo! A lot, but I think that would work. And that would probably be the best way of doing it. So data beacons would be, it would not be this. It would be, data beacons would equal data1.beacons plus the key 2 plus a pipe. However, this throws up an immediate issue. Oh, this is too much. Now I have to add a data beacons to, which isn't a big deal. The where does this go? Crystal on place beacon. So the on place beacon now needs to have a data entry, fresh data, beacons. I'm going to call it beacons list because that actually seems like it could be useful as a name. And it's just going to be an empty string. I just need the string to exist so that we can use it. And then we're going to call this beacons list. I know it makes it a little bit longer, but it's a little more descriptive. Okay, but now see, we also should be doing, because it's a bidirectional link. So we need to do like this. So we're, data 1 is now the beacon list we're adding the key to and the pipe. And then we're adding the key of the other one. So when I place, this is going to break, I guarantee it, because that data entry just doesn't exist in the table. Ha! I knew it! Okay, well, should be a non-issue because this one now should have it. So I should be able to break these three. Oh. 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 Not good. Why does it? What? Beacons list. Oh, well, I have a spelling error in line 25, so that wouldn't help. Was it beacons list or was it beacon? No. Well, I spelled it wrong. So, that doesn't help anything. Okay. Okay, let's make sure there's no spelling errors this time. Let's go ahead and break all of the nodes. Bye, 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 bye. And let's, well, I'll just place this one here because it doesn't matter. Oh, oh. Okay, now it's also a nil value. Why is it a nil value now? That's interesting. Links is fine. What's different from the links? Fresh data, beacons underscore list equals a string. Am I not pulling it incorrectly here? No, because data is already a table. Stream keeps lagging. It does say I've dropped 15% of frames with low upload speed, but that could be because I'm looking at code and there's not too much going on. Or it could be completely unrelated to that because I'm now in some place where there's a lot of visual things going on and it's still not doing so hot. So I can't really tell you what the issue is. Sorry. Other than there is an issue appearing on my end. Shutting down. Beacons list, a nil value. In line 125. Oh, because I have another spelling error in here. Like an idiot. After I specifically said, let's check to make sure that there's no spelling errors. Clearly, I didn't do that. All right. Third time's the charm. I think this is more like the 8th time, though. A. Okay, okay. Now we have the particles going from each to each. I thought these were supposed to be glowing. These don't really look like they're glowing particles to me. Maybe there's just... Maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe I need a glow level of higher than 8. I can go all the way up to 14, so let's do 12. Just cause. Okay, now this will make this not work, but that's fine. They've all died. Whatever. Particles. Now also these two should really be linking to each other, and they're not. I suppose it'll help too once I have a different colored particle. Those blue particles, you know, blue is kind of a darker color, so even when it's glowing, it's not so visible. If it's like a white color, it'll be more visible. I do have some overshooting, which I'm not crazy about. These are currently going both directions with a bit too much brownie or with a bit too much jitter, I would say. Definitely too much jitter. And you can see them spreading, and they keep spreading. And they should really be, as I said before, starting at the node, spreading out, and then coming back together. Or I guess if this is my 2, should be going woo, and in the middle they're changing, you know. So that's something I have to figure out, and I don't know how to figure it out. No, I don't think it's an issue on your guys' end. I think it's an issue on my guys' end. It's kind of yelling about YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Which, is the audio coming through fine though? Because I guess that shouldn't be happening either then. Okay, well that's more or less working. So now I have this data stored in this beacons list. So I can write an ABM real quick. This is such a mess. Register. I think it's just ABM, right? Like this and this. I don't know what I need for an ABM. I need some things. Goblin Base probably uses an ABM someplace. Or not. I'll use it as an LBM and an ABM. Sweet. Okay, sweet. I'm just going to steal that. I didn't actually want that there. I want that here. Okay, so we have an ABM. Let's reference this ABM to see what an ABM is supposed to look like. So we should have a label. And this will be label equals crystal particles. That's not really what it is, but whatever. Who cares? The name is, I don't even know if that's used for anything. It might be for profiling stuff. The name equals, wow. I need to take a breath, slow down, and learn how to type. Crystal, and we'll just do particles because Again, I don't think that actually matters. Node names equals, I'm going to actually use a group here. I think I still put that inside of parentheses though, or inside of quotes. Group beacons. Now, if I'm doing that, I suppose I do need to put these into a group called beacons. Wow, what a surprise. I have to make a group and then add the group to the nodes that I want to be affected by it. It actually would probably make more sense to do this as an LBM rather than an ABM because I want it to happen immediately. Run at every load is definitely true because if they ever stop, I don't want them to stop because that would be annoying. I also probably then should change this from being a constant to, or an infinite to being a limited. We'll do 60 seconds. And then we'll do 45 particles. And we'll see what that does. Okay, so run every load is true, and then our action is pretty easy, actually. Is it easy? I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing here. I just pretend to know what I'm doing. The function is just going to need the position. I don't think I need the node. Do I need the node? I shouldn't need the node. The node tells me nothing. Okay, and then we end, and then it's good. I mean, then we use this particle spawner system thing. Bada boom, bada bing. And I have to get 2 positions. So we get that by doing a key, which we're getting the key from the position to a string. And then we're pulling the data from the key. And this can just be data, and this will just be key then. And then the data, we need list. I'm just going to call it local list because I don't feel like typing a lot of stuff here. And that's going to be... Wait, what is that going to be? That's going to be, I guess, this, right? Except it'll just be data because we're not doing data 1. Okay, so then we have a list. So now we need to look at that repairman code. I love stealing my own code. It's so good. The repairman, yeah. So we're going to do this, and we're going to split this up. And I don't know what any of this code's doing, but that's fine because it theoretically does what it needs to do. Although it shouldn't be job. This should be list entries because we are, after all, dealing with entries to the list. So then here we're going to do... Oh, wait, this isn't quite what I need. I need to iterate through a thing. String split, it does create a table. So I should be able to do for entry in list entries do... Oh, actually, no, I think I need to do... I think I need to do for entry in pairs list entries do. Okay. So I have a beacons list. So then I do... Let me just do this. Because I don't know what's in these entries right now. And I'll comment this out. And then we'll just do that. I don't know. It might crash. Oh, no. It crashed. Oh, no. Line 123. What's going on in line 23? 123. Local data. Crystal data. Oh, I don't have a player name. Oh, great. That's a huge problem. Oh, but it's not a problem because I do have the node available to me. So I can get the player name by doing local meta equals core get meta from position. Oh, wait. I don't even need the node for that. Node's useless. I don't need the node. I can get all from this. And then we do local player name equals meta get string player name. think is what I called it. Is that what I called it? I don't remember. Blah, blah, blah. Player name, player name. Yeah, okay, good. So now we have the player name that we can use for this. I think that should be what we need. Fingers crossed. Oh, no. Okay, now we have an argument in line 123, the same issue. Wait, what? Oh, this needs to be a string, not a variable. My bad. It should work now. Fingers crossed. Eyes crossed. Oh, no. Time to get length of local str. I don't know what that is. Okay, undeclared variable repair queue. Wait, repair queue in line 127? Did I? I sure did. Yeah, that should have been list. Dog of War, gotta go. All right, thanks for hanging out. I'm just trying to get this fixed. Oh, come on. Now I have a spelling error. Man, nobody's ever going to hire me if I can't even get some simple code for a game right. It's because I'm going to... Are you serious? What's the error now? Well, this is weird. This is really weird. Attempt to get length of local string, a nil value, in function split. Line 127, action. Local list entries, string split, list. We're splitting by this. I don't know what either of these numbers means. So list entries is what's crashing? Attempt to get length of local string, a nil value. Well, here, let's do this. Maybe list doesn't exist. If list didn't exist, that would obviously cause an error. Okay, well, it looks like list exists, but it's the weirdest looking list I've ever seen. Negative 44,3,705. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, nil. Is that printing out the entries? What's the nil? Is that the last entry to the table? Oh, where's the crash happening? The crash is happening in function split, which is in line 128. Well, I guess I need to find out what string split does. Lua string split. I really don't want stupid Stack Overflow. Sorry, Stack Overflow bros, but I don't want to use your thing. I want to use something legitimate, like the lua.use or lua-users.org. String split. Okay, yep. That's actually not what I need, though. None of this helps me at all, quite honestly. What? Test cases. For KV and next string split, a bunch of things. I don't know what any of that's doing. What does 3 mean? 2 and 1. I don't get it. I might need something a little more. Like, tutorials point, Lua string split. That could be a little more helpful. Okay, so we're doing a local example. Lua is great. For iron string, well, they're using a G match instead of string split. My split, this is not. No, none of this is what I want. Okay, how about we take this whole bit out? Oh, and I guess this. And let's print list entries. Just see what I get. That doesn't even work. So I assume that lists is the negative 43.3, negative 705. And then list entries is a table. So I should actually be doing a print dump. That way it dumps the table and I can see the contents of the table. And then I'm getting the table twice more because there's 3 beacons. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense now. And then it crashes for one of them, which could actually just be a beacon that exists that's... It could just be a beacon that doesn't have this data stored on it because it's too far away, but it's close enough that this is running. Okay, I'm going to change this from true to false. Because that should, I think, let me load in twice. Okay, I guess not. It's not running on every load. Maybe it still runs on every load of the world? I don't know. I need to get this figured out. Quickly. Okay, we're going to just comment that out so it's donezo. It's gonzo. And we're going to go far, far into the distance. To the land of whatever these trees are over here. I don't really want that, but this will work right here. Okay, and then we're going to exit. And then we're going to undo this. Uncomment it out. So the code runs again. And let's see if it works. Okay, it works. Perfect. So then we're going to put a little bit of a tower here. And we're going to put a beacon up top. Beacon works fine. Good. Then we're going to put another little tower here and a beacon here. Bada boom, bada bing. Have they found each other? Yes, we have some particle systems going. Nice. Now, let's say we exit the game and we come back in the game because that's what one does. Okay. To be fair, I didn't have it doing anything right now. But it's not crashing. That is the important thing. So I am getting 2 tables of 2 different values, which is good. Local list entries. String split. So it prints a list. I can't tell which is which because I don't have anything dividing it. Yeah, we'll just print the high statement because that really is going to help me figure out what's going on. It actually will. So the first value it prints is the list, which is only one value, which actually makes sense because there's only 2. Now there's 3. It should start sending out to those, and they'll start sending back to it. Perfect. Okay. So now when we do this again, it should have 3 entries in here. Yep. Both of them having 2 tables, which is good. Other than the second entry in each still has a pipe at the end, which is going to be a problem, I think. I don't want that pipe at the end. How do I make the pipe go away? Every time I put one in, I'm ending it with a pipe. Okay, well, I don't know. I'll worry about that another day, I guess. Dog of War, before I go, I want to say it's amazing seeing you debug your errors. It makes us even feel less dumb. Well, thanks, I think. All right, so this should now be potentially good. I think. So we're going to print entry. And I suppose I have to uncomment this. I'll be wrapping things up here shortly. Just want to see what happens. Okay. I'm getting weird values. When I print entry, I'm getting 1 and 2. Okay, so this is the entry into the table. Okay, that actually makes sense now. So I need to do... I see this often, where you use an underscore because you don't care about the first entry to the table. It's just pulling up the index of it, which I don't care about. Hey, there we go. This is more what I want. All right, so we're throwing up some values now. So the entry, so we get print high. So it prints the list, which is correct. And then it prints the 2, which is also correct. Unfortunately, the 1 still ends with a pipe, which I don't want. So the entry, no, actually that does work. So then I do crystal particle system position, which will be itself, and entry, which is the second. Although that's as a string, so I need to change this local position 2 equals core string 2 position entry. I just hope it ignores that pipe. I don't think it's going to. I think I'm going to have to manually remove that pipe on the ones that have pipes, which I don't know how I'm going to make that happen. Hey. Okay. So the pipes are messing it up, which I knew would happen. And I don't know about the snow on the ground. Oh, the snow on the ground doesn't block it. Sweet. Okay, so we have something that's working! I'm so excited! It'd be better if the ground was dark so we couldn't see so the snow didn't block kind of the view of it. Why does this one not match to this one? That's kind of funny. And this one's not linking to this one. Oh, actually, you know what? That makes sense because those are the broken ones that have the pipe at the end. I don't care. I'm so excited. It works. Yes! I should probably be quiet so I don't wake the kids up. Okay. How do I make the string split not include the stupid pipe? I just want to throw the pipe out. There's got to be a way to do it. How does I do it? Lua string split. Let's see what Google says. That's not even using string split. I don't want Gmatch. What's this Gmatch garbage? Just give me string split. String sub. I don't want string sub. I want string split. Where did I get string split from? It doesn't even look like it's a legitimate thing. Everybody's using the Gmatch feature. What is this? Clearly string split exists and it works. Oh. Okay, no, that's different. Okay, yeah, that's just nothing here. Local job position, core string to position job 1. That works. And then it takes that one out with a string find. Yep, I guess when one breaks, I do have to do that. How do I take the pipe? How does Lua string split just not exist? I'm so confused. Like I search for it and everything comes up as string Gmatch. What is this string Gmatch?